Hey, old lady ice, cuss like 10 bands, motherfucking koi purse popping out my sweatpants. Rich dead man, had to hit it twice, cause my ex-wife said my dick ain't right, she got shafted. It's a fact of life, and I cop a new dick in the afterlife. Till then, I'm with the geezers, harassing people at my leisure, faking seizures for sympathy.
Welcome to the Rapcast, if you are a faithful watcher or a new listener, because we're now officially on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find podcasts.
Yep.
By the way, we should get this off top. I could cut this in there. My voice you're listening to right now is Andrew, aka Young Jizz. The voice you'll hear
and my
right now.
Much more masculine voice is of Alex, aka Buddy Alex, aka Daniel Caesar, Stan,
Yes.
49.
Stay tuned for Daniel Caesar combo later on in the pod.
AKA not currently employed. I would rather say self-employed.
Yeah.
Just podding.
You're always working on yourself. So you're working.
Yeah. And the job is never complete.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Until I'm 130 pounds. And completely tan.
An unhealthy weight, yeah. And off to the screen, but you'll still hear him.
The least masculine voice out of all of us.
And weighing in at...
Negative 47 pounds. I'm malnourished.
That is Josh, a.k.a. Jay Pacey, a.k.a. PJ Martian.
And we will be having a boxing match at the end of this show, so stay tuned.
Yes.
You'll snap me like a twig.
We emailed Mr. Spotify.
He didn't respond back, but we made our way into the system, let's just say that.
Yeah.
Lined some politicians' pockets, and here we are.
Yeah, I made a couple phone calls. Joe Rogan.
Good friend of yours, from what I remember, but...
You know... I can't think of any other good podcaster.
Big on Spotify, or... I don't know, Joe Budden's still probably kicking it.
Hey, can we say, for a second that, I'm sick of all these podcasts that I see now, on my... we're a podcast, I know that. But, these podcasts...
I'm sick of this podcast, too, but...
These podcasts that are marketed so hard at us that are,
What are some examples?
It's just, on my Explore page on Instagram, there'll be, two people talking about absolutely nothing, laughing really hard, about something that's not funny at all. Yeah. And I think they just market these videos, really hard at you nowadays.
Yeah.
And we're kind of living in the peak. I feel like there's a bit of a peak right now of these podcasts marketing themselves on TikTok and Instagram.
It's pretty big, but I feel like behind a lot of those podcasts, the actual podcast itself probably is not very entertaining. They just have a clip where they make sure to laugh really hard and okay, this one's gonna be for Instagram guys. So they want to make sure to get a good clip. I pride myself on creating a solid hour and 45-minute body of work every 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm not in it for the little clips. Okay, I'm in it for the long haul. Here.
But our clips are sick too.
Well, check us out on at SuperFinger Inc. INC.
But here's what separates us from the chaff is that we're giving you real content here. Okay, you want to hear about new rap albums, new issues going on in the music industry from our perspective. Mm-hmm. We're moving the conversation forward, okay? We're giving you some new info. We're not just wasting your time on this podcast.
And make sure to check out our last episode 50. This is episode 51, where we interviewed some up-and-coming rappers, Joe Jazz and Rick Indigo. Some great conversations, great guys. Episode's doing pretty well. Proud of us for getting that done. It went pretty well overall, even though we got a few people that bailed last minute. I did text yesterday because I was talking to my buddies about him, and Darren was interested. Who's the actual guy? And I'm like, I still have his number. I'm just gonna text him. I miss you, and see what happens. And, nothing yet, hasn't responded yet, so we'll see. 2
episodes into Spotify, and we're already beefing with every other podcast on Spotify.
That's the thing. Exactly.
I mean, there's good podcasts out there
for sure. I listen to podcasts all the time. But we're the best hip hop ones.
I only listen to podcasts if they have a guest on that I like. You know what I mean? Nora Jones' podcast had Robert Glasper on it. Fantastic.
And Logic.
And a couple different podcasts have Yvette Young on, which fantastic guitarist. Stuff like that. Or if it's a topic that genuinely interests me.
Yeah.
I got into podcasting around 10 years ago, and
when it wasn't cool to be a podcaster, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
It still isn't, but
there was a lot of like comedian podcasters that I was into that at some point I realized like I'm not learning anything, I'm not getting anything from this. Like sure I get some laughs here and there, but it's a lot of like complaining and like just you're kind of just
what's the point?
The headphones are in, but it's just going in one through ear and one ear and out the other.
And we'll complain. Don't get us wrong. We'll complain a lot in this podcast, but we'll also fucking give people flowers and suck dicks of certain rappers for sure that we're biased to.
We are no stranger to the dick munching.
With the phallic inhale.
If you're listening to this on Spotify, check the description of this episode, and a link will be there to watch our podcast visually on our YouTube channel, which you should go subscribe to as well, SuperFinger.
Yeah.
And because we do a bunch of visual bits, we do like some hip hop like games at certain points that are, I think, really hinged on seeing them sometimes. So definitely check that out for certain episodes. Maybe not this one, just because we'll be mainly talking. But
I like video. I like video podcasts if there's some showmanship put into it, and that's what we try to do here on the Rapcast.
We've done a lot of interesting things with it in the past. We had a whole Halloween special short film we did last year, which was pretty exciting. And we have some visually enhancing things around us.
Yes.
Very colorful set today.
And there's a penis right there.
There is a little black penis, but don't let Spotify know about that, or else we will be kicked off.
Spotify will cancel us right away.
Yeah, Spotify will kick us off just for the notion that there is a penis in the room with you.
Yes.
Even though it's all audio.
But
you could be doing like you could be like doing a podcast naked, and nobody would be able to tell.
Yeah, it's true.
I just pictured a naked podcast, and I'm. Ugh.
The human body disgusts me.
Put Adam 22 in jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're very pro that.
100%.
Moving on.
That's all the fucking busy work we have to do right there.
Yeah, so now we can just hang out.
Yeah, come on.
You're just hanging out with your best friends.
We have some beers. We smoke weed afterwards, but not usually during. But we have.
I used to vape more on the show, but
I did buy a vape, but I will not be partaking at the moment. But anyway, so we're in Canada, so that I don't know. That could be important to some people, maybe some of our references that we
fuck
make.
you, America.
Yeah,
and
easily.
Western Europe. Anyway, let's get to it. What have we missed since our last pod?
It's been a while, because we shot the 50th episode, the first part of it, like April 2nd, and it didn't come out till like April 21st or some 22nd, something like that.
Yeah.
So that was a long while. There's a lot of new music that we have to get to. I don't know. We missed we missed Coachella. We missed Met Gala.
Yeah,
those are probably
Coachella,
two pretty big things.
Okay, so everybody. The whole controversy was about Frank Ocean which you are wearing a Frank Ocean shirt.
We'll unveil it right now.
Oh, Andrew Nipslip / JPEG.
For the audio listeners, that was.
I took my jersey off.
He's not even really a Leafs fan, so.
I'm more of a Flames fan. But I am a Leafs fan when they're doing well. But
the Rapcast does officially support the team that's in the playoffs right now.
And not the Oilers.
And hopefully by the time this is out, we have not got swept by Florida. Yeah. So anyway, Frank Ocean.
Continue. Yeah.
There was a whole thing where he was supposed to perform. They had like a whole thing. It was kind of reminiscent of a recent episode of Succession where they had a whole stage show planned. Where people were going to skate around, and it was like a whole thing.
They hired like professional skaters to.
They were all super excited, and then he called the day before and was like, "I can't do any of this shit.
Yeah,
my ankle's broken," which might have just been a thing made up by his publicist, but maybe he did actually break his. The point is, he has a lot of excuses, and the people were not happy with the performance.
Yeah, he was kind of just going off the backing vocals, from what I could tell, for a lot of it. He was kind of just like, there was like a long DJ set, like in the middle of it. What else is there? I feel like there was other stuff that I'm forgetting because it's been a few weeks. But.
Well, there was a thing about how it was supposed to be all streamed live, but he cut that all and didn't.
And people had to go stream fucking someone's Twitch account, which they just had their phone going or something. Like,
and it's been erased from the internet so many times, and I'm seeing all these tweets from Frank Ocean stands that are like, "Oh, the powers that be don't want us to have this Frank Ocean footage," and like.
And then he canceled the second weekend on the Sunday, which sucks because I'm sure some people were going to that weekend assuming that they would see Frank Ocean and then maybe bought tickets just for Frank Ocean. Like I have a few friends in Toronto that Jake and Mikey, they were at our show that we did in Toronto.
Yeah.
Jake and his girlfriend, and then Dan, who I'm also tight with, and his girlfriend, the four of them went to Coachella for the second weekend. And I know he's a big Frank Ocean fan, so I was wondering if he actually bought it for Frank Ocean and then just said, fuck it, I'm going to go anyway. But it impacted people that I'm near and dear with, so I take personal offense, Mr. Franklin.
So, yeah, Donkey of the Day goes to Frank Ocean. Yeah. I get that people are in the excuse-making business in the music industry, and the delicate genius can't be bothered to give a decent performance when you haven't put out an album in 6 years or what. I get that he had some personal tragedies that happened to him and everything, but at some point you have to prove your worth as an artist to keep people interested. Of course, people aren't going to stay interested in Frank Ocean forever because he's a legend, but
at what point do people kind of start waning and just kind of
having respect
really
for a fan
anymore.
base is a big thing, you know?
Yeah. I still love Frank Ocean and I'm anticipating his new record, but I'm not fucking talking about it. I'm not letting it ruin my life. I'm fucking listening to new music and I'm like, all right, I'm fine with no Frank Ocean right now as long as, I get something eventually, but I'm not even that crazy about some fans are really crazy about Frank Ocean. I just really love Blonde. Channel Orange is it's pretty good. It's not that great though. Yeah. But Blonde to me is fantastic.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting how there's these cult artists that have fan bases that are you don't want to mess with them or they're mad about something. It's like the Beyonce fan base, the Frank Ocean.
Every metalhead ever is completely intolerable.
Yeah.
I've never met a hot take. I have never met a metalhead who wasn't kind of an asshole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have some debate in the comments section here.
I don't think I've met too many metalheads.
Yeah, I stay away from... I went to a metal show a few months ago, and it was cool. They seemed like cool people, but I didn't really talk to anyone. But anyway. In terms of the Frank Ocean shit as well, who's he doing some of this shit for in terms of, he has this whole, Homer jewelry line that he has, and it's, $10,000 for a fucking gold chain, and I'm this clearly isn't for his fans. He's just completely... Is he selling out? Is he just, completely fucking sold his soul? Or is he just trying to make the money without doing music?
Yeah.
Because he hasn't toured in a long time. He hasn't released music in a long time. So where is the money coming from, other than, I guess, this fucking jewelry company he started, but...
It's funny how someone can be kind of a sellout and rip people off, and then there will be other people in the comments writing, no, but he finessed the industry, and he finessed everybody, and, he's winning, and whatever, but it's at some point you're... you should have more pride in what you're doing.
100%, And I heard, I saw the other day as well where it was this wasn't a long, Frank Ocean's, publicist or manager, someone said, he was never intending to go on a tour after this show. It wasn't, it was an obligation that he had to make. So it seems like he just couldn't give a fuck about his fans at times, so... It rubs me kind of the wrong way, but at the same time, I didn't fucking waste my time and go all the way out to fucking buttfuck nowhere for Coachella, so I don't really give a shit, but... It's discussion.
That's the other side of it is, I have nothing but contempt for anyone who goes to Coachella. Such a waste of money.
Yeah. Why is our dad mowing the lawn at 8 p.m.?
That's got to be... Okay, new segment.
All right.
Dads.
Because I keep hearing that...
Maybe the Leafs are losing and he's just fuck, man. He has to just mow the lawn or something. Who knows?
New segment, dads. What's wrong with them? Why are they, so hyper?
Can you, hear that in the fucking...
A little bit.
Audio? That should be okay.
Honestly, that gives the podcast more life,
It's true.
The idea that people are actually doing shit outside, So, another quick thing. Met Gala, hot or not. Let's just go through it. Doja Cat.
Man. That was so fucking funny to me. Just the interviews where she's just so what are you wearing today? And she's just meow.
Okay, so tell me all about this. Meow. I mean, who made it? Meow.
Because she's dressed as a cat.
Oh.
And she's there fucking vaping the whole time and just and people the next day were she's not going to be invited back to the Met Gala type shit.
Well, you're not allowed to vape at the Met Gala?
I fucking guess. Not in the building it was in, maybe. But
Dude.
Yeah, I just saw the interview of her just meowing and not saying a word the whole time. I'm this is fucking great. But yeah, it's kind of a fucking big joke. I don't really give that much of a shit. I'll say Brian Tyree Henry served, but that's about it. That's all that I have to say.
I looked at
the most part.
like
Paperboy from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
He was great.
this is the out of our depth segment,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
I just think it is funny.
Guys out here.
It is funny to
The fucking visor and the bright orange
Hey,
hoodie.
Toronto Zoo, man. Spent $30 on this visor.
Talking about waste of money.
Yeah,
That's right there.
this was before I lost my job.
Yes.
Nah, but for real, Doja Cat is like always trying to freak people out or like
Or
make
troll,
people,
or
yeah.
like she's female Lil Nas X almost.
I got a little bit annoyed with at one point and stopped following her because it was just too much like controversy, blah blah blah. But it's all in good fun at the end of the day, and she's I feel like the furries out there got something out of that.
And was it Jared Leto who came in like a whole ass furry suit properly and like took off his big fucking head and it was Jared Leto?
Well, I read into that. It was like, this is so fashion, but like
Let's do it.
The theme to the Met Gala was like Karl Lagerfeld, who is like some well-known guy, and like he's like famous for his cat, like treating his cat really well. So like that was what Jared Leto was going for with. He was like dressing up exactly the same as his cat.
Okay, so Doja Cat being a cat is kind of...
And that's kind of a joke
sense.
on that too,
okay,
so yeah. Like,
that makes a little more sense to me, but...
The thing, like every Met Gala there's a theme, but then like most people don't even really follow the theme that well. Mm-hmm. I took a couple screenshots.
Okay. We can do a hot or not right here. Because I haven't seen it. I saw a handful, but
Alright, Jack Harlow. Navy tweed suit.
I've seen this one,
Burgundy shirt.
Pass it around here.
He's got the brooch.
The brooch? A bro? Is that a bro? A brooch? It should be, a bro brooch.
No idea what that, like, I don't know.
I don't care.
I feel like just...
I don't care.
Yeah.
Just
he
like
looks like a fucking goat man. I don't
just
like
having curly hair is not enough,
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look like the guy, like Mr. Tumnus, kind of.
From fucking Narnia?
Yeah. Erykah Badu dressed up like some shaman lady.
Oh, okay. I like the weirder shit. I don't know. I'm cool with the...
Yeah.
Who cares?
We don't know anything about fashion, but... Yeah. Oh, Pusha T. I thought that was pretty hot.
He's doing like a Joker kind of thing, almost. Like a Batman villain. So I fuck with it. He looks kind of like a villain there.
This is part of the It's Almost Dry rollout.
Exactly, yeah. I fuck with it. That's hot for me.
It turns me on.
Yeah, and Kendrick showed up as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kendrick looked kind of stupid to me, to be honest with you.
What was he? He was rocking like a snapback at the same time as like a fucking... I don't remember what he was wearing.
The snapback? I don't know. He looks like Fred Durst.
Let me see. Well... Fred Durst could be coming back into play.
That's the one I shared on the...
Yeah, just very nonchalant. I mean, I fuck with it for that extent, to that extent, but...
Well, anyway, we don't know shit about fashion, but that was fun.
Speaking of high art, though, and linking back to the Frank Ocean segment, I went to Toronto the other day with my roommates. Were back in town. We all watched the Leafs game. But beforehand, me and my buddy Hayden went to the AGO, and we went up like all the way to the very top for this photographer's exhibit. We both went to photo school, and before we like figured out what it was all about and saw like the artist statement and there's like a brochure and shit like that, I saw the Frank Ocean blonde cover there, and I'm like, oh, that's weird that this is just here. I took a few pictures next to it, and then I was reading into it and like, oh, this is the guy, this photographer whose whole exhibit was the guy that actually took the photo for the album cover. So I got to see the for real thing. So I thought that was pretty sick. Shout out Wolfgang Tillman.
Dude,
German motherfucker.
We should interview him on the next one.
Let's do it. We gotta get more interviews down.
Yeah, shout out the AGO.
Come on, man. Free art under 25?
Yeah.
Fuck y'all. I can still go, bitch.
Hey, we saw Guillermo at the AGO.
Hell yeah, brother.
Bars on bars.
Unreleased song that we made.
Wait, what was that? What song was that?
Some kind of Star Wars.
Oh
whatever.
yeah, fucking
Star Wars freestyle.
Yeah, something like yeah. That was a classic. Yeah, we make music as well, so there's links somewhere that you can find if you care.
Put any of it up
it's no good, but we make it. We make it.
Do we have anything else to get into before doing... we have a lot of new music together, so we're going to get a few albums out the way, do more of a deep dive into Daniel Caesar, and then get a few singles off at the end.
Alright, so let's get into Tyler, the Creator.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think anyone was expecting this, but Call Me If You Get Lost, deluxe drops called the Estate Sale. Seems to be a few Lucy's from that era, he said, making around that time, but there are a few that, like, I think definitely he was making more so recently. Like, there was a few, like, Virgil Abloh bars, R.I.P. Virgil, in Dogtooth, and I think that happened, like, last year, right? Was when he passed?
It was in 2021. So.
Okay, so maybe it was around the same time, but I don't know, I got the feeling that some of the songs, like, you know, were made a little more recently, but I have nothing really to back that up. But
yeah, I mean,
think it was cool.
They do sound like demos, kind of, and they're
a few of them are really good though.
The way that they're arranged, it's not as like you know, considered every single inch of it the way that a full length album would be. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was very good, like very solid.
Yeah.
I didn't love every single moment of it.
It's not like groundbreaking, but it's like, okay, this is what a deluxe should be.
But it works as like an addendum to the Call Me If You Get Lost
Yeah, and it
album.
seems to be like he's transitioning into something bigger with the ending song Sorry Not Sorry, which we can get into if we go track by track. But it seems like he's kind of transitioning. He always has like these phases per album. He has like a new character he kind of dons. So it seems like he's going to switch into something that's going to be interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. Who knows if this is what all we'll get from Tyler this year, because it is an odd year, which means that Tyler is supposed to be dropping an album, because that's how it just kind of worked out in his career. I don't know if this will count towards it, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it remains to be seen what Tyler's next move is going to be, but I feel like, you know, he's exhausted this particular
kind of braggadocio rapper traveler character that he's had.
Yeah, I mean, he's becoming sort of the Wes Anderson of the rap game, in that he paints these very vivid pictures of his travel, like this character that he plays, of where it takes his real life stresses, and it's all about like, I want to escape from that.
Yeah,
I want to find somebody, girl or boy, go off and like, you know, explore the world. And on the song Heaven to Me, he kind of explains, like, in very vivid detail, paints the picture of how he wants his final 20 years of his life to be, like raising a family, riding bikes around, like, and it gives us very specific snapshots into the things he likes.
Yeah, I love that song for the storytelling aspect of like, okay, this is this is my life right now, and this is perfect as it is. This is what heaven could be in the future, or maybe what I may have wanted it to be as a child, and then this is what heaven was. The third verse is like, this is what it was like when I was a kid, in terms of just kind of giving us a whole, like you said, like a whole snapshot or something like of his life. Yeah. And
he's getting very good at that, but at the same time, it's starting to feel a little bit like, okay, the credits are rolling on this story, and what's next? Like the next.
Super glad we got it, but I'm very much looking forward to his next.
But yeah, like
release.
That song reminds me a bit of the plot wise or the theme wise. It reminds me a bit of Fear from.
For sure.
From Damn, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like it's about
past, present, and future kind of thing, bringing them together.
And there's links to Kendrick in this as well, in terms of where I think he's going to go in his next album. Is that he was really talking a lot about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers last year. He kept talking about it in interviews and how he loved how Kendrick was so open about it and how more artists should do that. And then we kind of caught a glimpse of him maybe attempting to do that on the last track, Sorry Not Sorry, which I think is probably the best track on here. Just super introspective, getting super in details about his sexuality and about his past and about like all that kind of shit. And in the music video, which is a great music video, is him killing off all his previous egos, and now it's like just him, his fucking natural hair, shirt off, like he's fucking really about it, about himself. And he's mentioned before as well that the passing of Virgil kind of wanted him to maybe go by his birth name more often, so maybe we'll get like a self-titled Tyler album next. That's
Tyler
super
O'Connor.
introspective. That's my theory, and that's some like internet theory people have. But I think it's a solid one, and I would like to see it. That'd be super cool, because he's been introspective in the past, but like I know a lot about him, but like I'm sure there's more that he can uncover if he chooses to go that direction. But
well, I find that like, you know, his albums are a mixture of like, okay, I'll say like Igor, he was more putting it all out there.
Yeah.
High drama. The character is completely heartbroken.
Yeah.
You know, he might kill somebody. He might, you know, like, who knows what's going on. Call Me If You Get Lost, it being a mixtape, it's more a celebration. It's more like, it's less vulnerable. It's
there's personal turmoil sprinkled in throughout, and that's kind of like a backing of the story, but like it's not in the forefront necessarily, other than the song.
Whereas Igor is a straight melodrama.
Yeah,
and it's not as reliant on your understanding of his past and his life and the intricate details.
Yeah, I'd say Baby Scumfuck Flower Boy is probably the closest we've gotten to like a truly introspective album, because that's kind of when he was started to come out. But also at the same time, there was a lot of like pop tunes on that, and like just a lot of like good melodies, and a lot of like, you know, a lot of not necessarily being too introspective either, right?
That one was
metaphorical.
It was a lot about the instrumental vibe of that one informed those decisions as well, I think. But yeah, do you want to go through some tracks here?
Sure.
Basically, the first track is him kind of just... It's almost like he recorded that after doing the tour and was like, okay, worldwide traveler, like, this is what it is. I made this many millions this year. Like,
go off.
And then Stuntman being the first track, which is just like a really great flexy verse.
Yes.
Collab that we've always wanted to see with Vince Staples.
Because we've been talking about this forever. If you've listened to us about, like, we've seen like Tyler and Vince have been going on tour for the past however many years, and like they don't have a single song together. Like,
we saw them together one time.
Yeah. And for the most recent tour, they were also together, and we're just like, how has there not been a collab? So I'm really glad we got the Super Hard song. Maybe would have liked more Vince on it, but that can't be too fucking picky.
Vince hops into his world a little bit about like, I'm headed to Milan type shit, but he's still talking about killing people.
Yeah, classic Vince first.
Tyler gets into this thing where he's like, he always describes things being like, he loves the color Kelly green, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He has a thing about, I got a Kelly green jelly bean, whatever, it looks like a jalapeno, like that thing from... And he mentions it a couple times about just like how he's very particular about the things he likes.
Yes.
And
I mean, he's
a nerd.
He's also been like super obsessed with like color and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, he's a fashion guy. He's you know, creates shoes and furniture or whatever the fuck. So
yeah, and he's
obviously that would make sense.
Something that comes later on the album is how he kind of brags about how he never wore like a Beats by Dre headphones just to get the money for the music video. He always wanted to keep the artistic vision in his own hands.
Yeah.
He has like. He's watching Queen Gambit looking like an extra, so like
dressed up with the fucking luggage and like the brown fucking suede suits with the fucking fur hat that he's been rocking, like.
Because I was looking at it, I was like, wait, was that like that chess show with like Anya Taylor-Joy? Like that would be very funny if he was in the second season of that show. It's about Tyler being the chess champion. Yeah, that'd be funny. What a Day.
Really classic sample.
Another classic one.
I believe it's Madlib produced. Sample is, if you're familiar with the track Bob Lobo by Royce da 5'9" and J. Cole, it's the same sample. Like, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh, fucking that's the same song. But he kills it.
His thing about how like duality is tiring is kind of what he says about women love me, men love me. Like, it must be hard to be someone who in my life, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, basically all the things that are stressing him. Like, it's a great introspective verse.
Yeah, for sure.
And it goes on for, like, there are several verses to it.
Mm-hmm.
I like, there's a DJ Khaled thing as well, like, but...
Right.
It's not really a diss. Because that was probably one thing that maybe, like, this was on the album, but then he cut it because he was like, I don't want to add fuel to the whole, like, Tyler versus DJ Khaled beef. But that wasn't really a beef, it was just kind of like...
It was like 1 week where
a strange moment where Khaled was like, why is my album not like losing to
this weird
Igor?
Music?
But it's actually more of a shout out to DJ Khaled for putting people on and stuff like that, and how Tyler's done that as well, like put on
100%.
Wharf Talk. That's more classic Tyler vibes.
That one was a weird one at first. I didn't quite, you know, sometimes his singing is a little bit hit or miss, but it grew on me a whole lot. Another great collab with A$AP Rocky. Short and sweet verse, but I think he tweeted later on being like, he loves the fucking R&B songs from like the early 2000s with like just a 16-bar rap verse in there. So I guess that makes sense in terms of what he's trying to do here. Music video is dope as well.
The song didn't exactly blow me away. Like,
not my favorite, and I could see why it might not be on the album, but I'm still glad we got it.
It fits the aesthetic of the kind of demo-y vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some of these songs almost sounded like AI-generated Tyler, the Creator songs. Like, you know, it was made up of, like, this sounds like a couple of past Tyler songs thrown together kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe not the most unique things in the world, but still.
But not in a bad way, really.
Yeah.
Like
Dogtooth. Did we already talk about Dogtooth at one point in the pod, or no?
I don't know, but it's probably one of my faves.
Yes. Yeah, it's really solid. I don't remember. I actually haven't listened to that one in a minute, so I don't remember too much about it.
It's the one about, like, she can wrap my face, I don't want nothing in return.
Yeah. That one's crazy. Talked about Heaven to Me already. Boyfriend Girlfriend is okay. That's probably my least favorite one on there, but it's groovy. It's like a party kind of tune almost, but it's still very Tyler, kind of weird at the same time.
That one probably could have stayed in the vault for me. Like, I didn't really love it.
Yeah.
YG and Tyler is kind of a strange bedfellows.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like, he had to say boyfriend girlfriend. Like, you know, so just in case. If there's straight or gay people listening to this, like, we can all
also
feel...
just for himself as a bi man, but...
Yeah. I mean, it is genuinely interesting of the idea of a bi rapper...
Making songs about bi...
Having one song about how, you know, what kind of boys he's into, and the second song's all about eating pussy, like...
Yeah.
You know, that hasn't really happened in rap before, and, like, he's really the only guy, like, known enough to
I think
really
there's a few
doing
Frank
that.
Ocean bars that are more metaphorical in terms of some of that shit, but, like, no one as upfront with the shit as Tyler, that's for sure. About talking about some of the shit.
So the last song, Sorry Not Sorry, it really builds to the point where he's, like, defending himself against all accusations and
digging deep,
like, whatever his friends or people in his past that tried to say bad things about him, or whatever that whole drama is, that's something he kind of deals with in the album as well. So it does fit into Call Me If You Get Lost.
There's a few songs that would, but
he almost mentions the things that he's already mentioned previously, so it's like, I get why this got cut from the first first draft of the album, but he definitely airs it all out on that track.
Yeah, that's probably why it's my favorite, is because he gets super personal with it. I'm a sucker for that kind of shit, but also it's just, like, fucking bar heavy, fucking just flows are crazy, music video's great. It's the whole thing is worth it almost for this song, even though I do like a bunch of other tracks on here, but that one to me is a standout.
What's next for Tyler?
I gave my theory earlier, but who knows?
God knows. Could go back to Adult Swim.
That's not... Yeah, I don't know, because, like, he's done fucking... He's done, like, an R&B kind of album. He's done, like, the really rap-heavy mixtape album. He's done all those weird shit earlier on in his career and stuff, like...
Tyler X 100 Gecs?
Shit. Hyperpop Tyler? I can see it.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Good job, Tyler, the Creator.
Those again, this time with a deluxe. Wouldn't expect Tyler to do a deluxe necessarily. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy that would play that kind of game. But, like, the fact that it's, like, 2 years after is, like, it's not for numbers or anything, obviously. It's just for... just for fun, just try to promote. It's
interesting you say a thing about shit. Kendrick, because, like, this does have a feel of Untitled Unmastered. You know.
The fact where it's better than a lot of other releases from the year, even though it's just throwaways, hypothetically.
Yeah. And it's kind of stuff that wouldn't necessarily fit into the album.
Like, certain ones you can see fitting a little bit more, other ones are, like, a little more off the wall, or... Yeah.
Let's talk about Jack Man.
Okay. Let me pull it up.
Pull up the Adam, friend of the show Adam tweet. He said, Jack Harlow really did his thing.
I mean, that might not be praise.
And I
did
said
his thing as in...
I basically said, you're bugging.
Yeah.
And this was before I listened to the album.
Okay.
I just knew. And after listening to it, like, there were takes going around on hip-hop Twitter. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
For a minute there, people were almost saying that Jack Harlow isn't mediocre.
They were like, this is a return to form. What form? Anyway.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Jack Harlow fans. Like, I get it. This was more enjoyable of a listen for a rap fan than his previous
100%,
album.
but because that one was so terrible that almost anything he releases after is going to be better in comparison. Like, I think it was both of our second worst album of the year last year.
He's still not that great, to be honest.
He still to me just sounds like a Drake Light. Like, no matter what he kind of does, it still just sounds like just kind of a soulless, swagless, fucking white guy talking about his shit. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. He has some funny bars sometimes, maybe, but like, what is so special about him?
It's also kind of self-defeating. Like, there's one track, Denver, where it's like very much feeling sorry for himself, and he's like, what if the critics are right and I'm actually not that... It's like, yeah, they are right. We're the critics, and we are right. So you should feel bad about yourself. No, but, I mean, it's fine. He can do what he wants. I just don't think he should have such a huge platform.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if any of these songs are really going to take off like that, because like, none of them are really like that poppy. It's more so like, I'm going to show these rap heads what I'm really about.
This was directed at the rap, the R/hip-hop people.
So he's not trying to get any there's no features, it's a 20-minute album or whatever. He's not trying to get any fucking, like, shit, he's not trying to get on the billboard here, but he's trying to impress the people that
the cover is us. The cover is him,
where he's completely, you can tell that he's fucking like pushing up his arms so to make him look bigger, but he's definitely more Jack than me.
Oldest trick in the book.
Jack man? No, Jack boy.
Yeah, and he's
Jack
posted
boy.
he's posted up in the alleyway to show he's hard.
Yeah.
No shirt.
I saw today apparently that same exact, like, people found it like right away on Google Maps or whatever, and people just did gang signs and shit all over it. And I'm like, oh man.
Oh wow.
He's gonna probably report this to the police. This Jack Harlow guy.
To be fair, he has a few moments where I'm like, okay,
there are some songs that I fuck with.
It's flowing decently on this one. Like,
I Don't Love It is a decent one.
So
kind of fuck with Ambitious.
Common Ground. He comes so like his type of social commentary. Like, this is the white privilege song.
Yes. There's two white privilege songs on here, but go ahead.
The problem with it is that he's trying too hard to be, I'm one of the good ones, like to every black person listening to it.
He has to know that like somewhere out there is video of him saying the N-word, so he's trying to get in front of it right now, just by really like, trying to double down, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. He said some interesting things, and of course it's true that your average American white fan base, is full of like people being shitty and like not respecting where the music comes from, and like I get, like, he spoke on a few things that are real, but he kind of paints this picture of like everyone who's criticizing him is, you're just like some condescending guy from suburbia who wants to say like who's the good rapper and who's bad. It's like, just because someone's from the suburbs doesn't mean they can't still listen to the music and say that that's not good. Like,
100%.
I get that he's trying to make a statement about white privilege, but it kind of falls flat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get what he was saying, but it still doesn't make it like a, very good song, you know what I'm saying? Just overall.
Yeah, and it's also because he kind of jumps around a lot. Like, he's like, and then the frat people, they come and they just come to the concert to say the N-word. It's like, no, man, like, we're here to party, and just because it's like the music it doesn't make us like racist, or I don't know.
By the way, any Spotify listeners out there, we are all white. I don't know if that was obvious.
If it's not apparent.
One of us is wearing a visor, so it should fucking tell you everything you need to know about us.
I did take condescending suburban kids growing up to be rap journalists, writing urban myths about who's the best urban kid and who's worse and who's authentic and what the real hip-hop is and who's in it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Shots fired at us.
Yeah.
He kind of, he opens up the track, he opens up the album like that to be like, look, I'm the thinking man's rapper. Yeah. I'm not just a party. But the problem is, like, if there's any Jack Harlow that I like, it's the party type, because it's just, you don't think about it. It's just, like, what's poppin', like, that was a good song. Like, some of the dancier tracks off of his last album, like, I don't mind. Like, I liked Dua Lipa, and, like, I like the silly, stupid, like, I don't like, I like when he's not trying.
I don't need him to be a fucking bar-heavy rapper,
You can just be a party rapper and just take all the disrespect that you get.
Just own it,
And just own it, but yeah.
Because we will throw disrespect, but, who cares about what we think, Jack? Because he's listening, for sure.
He cares. He cares.
I will say the song Gang 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 was an interesting one, just in terms of, like, he's talking about he's coming back home for the holidays, and then all of a sudden his friend comes up to him and was like, hey, you know Henry? He raped 7 girls in the fucking, like, I'm like, holy shit, that threw me through a loop. And I'm like, oh yeah, fucking Mark or whatever the fuck. He, what was the other, I don't remember what the other one was.
Their names were Kevin and Marcus.
Kevin and Mark, or Marcus, I was pretty close, but.
So, he has a song about, my friends back home are rapists and pedophiles. So I gotta disown them. Oh,
yeah, it's such a shame for me. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta hold people accountable. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I don't know.
It was interesting just because I didn't expect it, but like it's.
I get what you're going for, but you're just telling on yourself. And honestly, if somebody is friends with someone who later on turned out to be a pedophile or a rapist, like, sorry, but that reflects negatively on you, regardless of how you're trying to like portray it. Like, oh, you're from those types of people, then why should I trust you just because you're trying to be...
I mean, the odds of one of your friends doing that shit, okay, whatever. 2 of them, what company are you surrounding with, Mr. Harlow?
Yeah, man. What's going on in fucking Louisville, Kentucky?
I just, like, he feels so bad, or he talks like, oh man, it sucks to lose your friends like this, and I'm just like, there's no shame in disowning friends because of this shit. I would fucking... we've all talked about it in the past. If any of us were to do that kind of shit, we'd be like, alright, fuck you, forever. Like.
And regardless of content, this is what he says. My friend pulled aside and said, did you hear about Kevin? Kevin who? Our Kevin. They found a bunch of messages he sent to little kids, and apparently he set up this 10-year-old and he got molested. And he's like, Kevin...
It's not even rapping.
Kevin, who we knew since we were 7, and his dad was a reverend.
Yeah, it's
like, okay, man. It's not that... It's just... I'm sorry, man. It was a fail... Yeah, the song I do like is They Don't Love It. He is doing a Drake impression, kind of, on the chorus.
I could almost see a J. Cole kind of inflection as well on the chorus, but...
And I like that's the one where he says, like, I'm the hardest white boy since the one who was vomiting out sweaters and stuff.
Yeah. Like, which has been heavily debated on Twitter in the past a little bit. And there's many examples that are better. He's not even close.
I could name 5 white rappers off the top of my head that are better than Jack Harlow. But
fucking Mac Miller, A$AP Rock, LP,
Action Bronson,
and
G-Eazy is even. I would say
fuck with G-Eazy.
We were arguing this earlier, and we're going to talk about it later because there is a new G-Eazy track out. But even though he's kind of lame, he had more genuine hits than Jack Harlow.
Yeah, and somehow he's managed to maintain his career after so many years.
I wanted to get some more hate off because now I'm getting all
right.
Now I'm getting all riled up here. But the song "Ambitious." Mm-hmm. He did the dinero line already. He said something, zeros, I got the dineros, whatever. Like, he did that exact line on What's Poppin'. Like, you're reusing your own, not that groundbreaking bars.
And De Niro bars, I'm sick of them. I'm putting that out there, maybe a hot take. No more De Niro bars.
Oh, dineros.
I'm there was one in the G-Eazy Chance Vic track as well, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, I'm sick of it. No more.
He also has a line where he says, out of the blue, FaceTime calls about God with Justin, yeah. Like, he just randomly says, like, I called up Justin Bieber and we talked about God. Like, that's not really that impressive on its own. Like, it's kind of random. It's like, one time I met John Lovitz while I was working at Tim Hortons. I served him a...
yeah, that's a bar. You can work that into a bar.
That's actually a good idea. I'm getting real ideas here. But yeah, his flows and his lines are corny and tired on that one. Anything else to talk about?
Is that all right? I don't really remember the last 4 tracks. I don't remember what there would be. I'll say I Can't Be is like also kind of like weird white privilege of like, oh, I'm not popping because of my skin color. It has to be because I'm a good rapper. It has to be because this. No, it can't be because of that. I'm like, no, your whiteness definitely does help propel you to the status that you're in, 100%.
No, it's all those things that you mentioned. Oh, like it's my smile, it's my my connection with my fan, it's my all this and that. Like, yeah, it is those things.
Yeah.
And you had a huge leg up in the world by being a rich white kid.
Yes.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, that one left a bad taste in my mouth for sure, specifically. But the rest of them, I don't even... The questions, the last song, I'm pretty sure is that just him asking himself a bunch of questions, I guess. It's been done to death so many times in hip-hop.
50 Cent killed it with 21 questions.
That's all you need.
The other tracks are pretty boring.
No Enhancers sucks from what I remember, but
that one is so strange because his flow, he says, "My homie beat cancer."
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just about some girl. But, like, why does he even mention that his homie beats cancer? Like, I guess his one homie is happy about that.
Shout it out. Yeah.
Shout out him. But, like, it didn't add anything to the song.
And he's still doing this fucking thing, which I hate, which I'm pretty sure we talked about whenever we reviewed it, whatever episode that was back in the day, where he's, like, I don't even remember which songs it was, but Gang 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 was one of them. I think maybe it was Denver No Enhancers, where he's, like, kind of just letting the sample do the chorus work, because he can't be fucked to come up with a hook or a chorus.
Yeah, true.
Which that was my fucking big issue with First Class as well, just letting the fucking Fergie sample that's the only reason why that was probably so big, right? Like
that's his signature now. Is
just letting the sample go. Like I don't know, I don't fuck with it. Seems lazy to me.
Yeah, Jack Harlow, best friends with rapist and pedophile
Kevin and Marcus.
It's just he just didn't put that much effort into this, you know.
I mean, it's definitely better than his last one, but like, there's still only maybe 2 or 3 tracks.
I would almost rather listen to his last album because it has more going on. I guess I don't know.
To me, the only tracks I go back to that one are Churchill Downs and the fucking State Fair. I go back to those 2 singular ones, but teach their own. Yeah,
Jack man, you tried, and to the Jack fan base out there, I get it. It's not
Save
that
it for
bad,
the Jackcast, you know? The Jackcast and probably the Jack Harlow podcast is exclusively Jack Harlow takes. Where I love this.
Where I talk directly to Jack. I call up a different Jack Harlow fan and scold them every single episode.
Oh my god. Doing the devil's work. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
Try again.
Well, maybe not even so.
Okay, can we talk 100 Gecs now?
Alright, so I urge you to listen to the last podcast, 50th episode. It's great. We talk about 100 Gecs a little bit because I was trying to get the guys into it a little bit because I did listen to it for a while, and Alex listened and he has some thoughts on it. I gave my thoughts on it previously. I will state them again because it's buried in the last podcast, but I want you to go.
I'm trying to think what's the best review for 10,000 Gecs other than just RAR XD. Yeah. There are many different things I would use to describe this latest 100 Gecs album.
Maybe too many Gecs is my review overall, but
it's a lot, but it's also not that much, you know?
The songs that I kept on it, which are like I'm counting 6 songs that I kept out of the 10, which I think is pretty decent. I go back to those quite a bit, and they're very fun tracks. And it's not even really a hyperpop album. It's like a rock album. It's kind of a ska album that has like some Limp Bizkit shit in it too. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah, there's like the musical variety is really fun.
And it seems like they're just fucking in the studio having fun with these crazy fucking lyrics. I meant to take a screenshots of some of the crazy shit they said.
Very funny bars. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm not as into punk music. Like, I'm not as well versed into it, but the kind of punk sense of humor that comes through here makes me want to get more into the genre because, like, the idea of having a whole joke song called Frog on the Floor.
It's just like, where'd he go? There's a guy's, hold on, the party's going on. There's a frog over there smoking a dart or whatever. Like, he's chilling.
That song is fascinating to me. Because
it's very interesting to me. I didn't save it on my phone just because, like, when am I ever going to pine to listen to this song? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a novelty song, but, like, if I do kind of regret not going to the concert in Toronto in April because I'm like, that would be a fun time, though. Like, that show would be fun.
Yeah. It's kind of just a meme song, but at the same time, you wonder, like, is it actually about a frog, or is it like, this is like a metaphor about, like, a guy who's just kind of, like, wild and doesn't quite, like, fit in, but, like, maybe. It's just like, yeah, that guy, he's...
With 100 Gecs, I wouldn't think too deeply into anything they do, but I could be wrong.
No, but I think that's kind of, like, the joke of this type of song, is, like, to put enough lyrics in there to make you question, like, maybe there's other meaning to... But then you're like, no, it's just... Literally just a funny song for a punchline. Mm-hmm. The first song, Dumbest Girl Alive.
Crazy.
Dope.
Almost like a sicko mode type fucking like beat. Like it's the closest to rap you get on this whole fucking thing. Like we're Rapcast. Yeah. We're not talking about a rap album right now, but we talk about various other genres.
She's flowing on that one. I'm not actually sure who the people in the... There's a girl named Laura Les.
And then there's Brady...
And there's a guy named Dylan Brady or something.
Dylan Brady, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know who's who.
Yeah. It's tough to tell with some of the auto-tune and shit they use, but...
But no, like, the song is very funny.
Yeah.
And, you know, she keeps saying, I'm the dumbest girl alive.
Yeah.
There's a great line about, like, I got lightning in my veins, I walk around like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I did science on my face.
Yeah.
I'm the dumbest girl alive.
Yeah.
And there's kind of there's like a rock element to it as well.
To me, the first like 3 songs are like really great. 757 as well. Very kind of fast paced, kind of fucking.
That's like kind of a weirdo song, but like it's kind of about smoking weed and just
11. Yeah.
Just being like a fucking degenerate and like kind of owning it in a way. Like I would say a lot of this music is sort of Mountain Dew culture, you know, like very.
Yeah. I'm trying to just get
very like
here,
you know, like weirdo kids who spend all their time at 7-Eleven, like that kind of culture.
For sure.
So like, and that's why I was kind of thinking like, am I too old to like even get this, or it, like, because I guess this isn't really hyper pop. Like this isn't. Is this like only for Zoomers, or are they for like older millennials?
I don't know.
Like
Anthony's
us too?
25. Shout out Anthony, and he loves Hunter Gecs, so you know.
Right, because like I was like wondering like. Oh, am I late to this party, or is this like still?
I mean, enjoy whatever music you want at the end of the day, but
no, I just think it's funny how like, you know, not quite understanding like where this fits into the modern like music scene, and kind of feeling like you know.
If Anthony Fantano can love it and he's like 35, then we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, but I don't want to be like Anthony Fantano.
Yeah,
Once again, we hate all these other podcasts.
Yeah. All these other influencers. I love the line on there. Yeah, we don't smoke trees. We smoke tree-sized dicks. Yeah, come on.
Let's go.
Sing it, sister.
Hollywood Baby, one of my favorites.
Might be song of the year for me, bro. It's so fucking... I love it, man. It's so fucking... So heavy. I love it. Super catchy. Like, I listen to it a whole lot.
Like, how would you describe it if you took Blink-182 and, like, gave them whatever some... What's, like, a new age drug that people are on nowadays? I don't know.
Fucking... I don't know. Anything new age. I think any drug would be new age for Blink-182.
Lexapro.
Yeah. It's just like, all right. I guess antidepressant, but yeah. What are the new drugs, guys? We don't even.
It's like they took a classic punk song and like kind of put it through these 2023 filters, you know, to make it kind of like it has this kind of glitchy internety.
Yeah, but still fucking heavy ass guitars and shit. You know, it's a rock song to me.
Doritos and Fritos.
I didn't like this one at first, but it grew on me quite a bit. I fuck with it. This is very 7-Eleven culture, like, where they're in a 7-Eleven. Give me all your fucking Doritos and Fritos.
Yeah, it's just kind of a joke about, like, almost consumerism to a degree, and, like, just, you know... Oh, that's all you have? Then give me all of that!
Like, sort of... into the 100 Gecs is interesting. I didn't try to dive deep into what these songs were saying. I was just like, oh, it's fun. Let me listen to it. But
well, I'm always looking at the angles here. Okay, I'm a lyrics guy. Okay. Mm-hmm. Billy Knows Jamie.
This one's interesting. This one's like a Limp Bizkit fucking song. Like it's a rap rock type of fucking like just the beat and shit, and it's like gets into a really heavy metal like screamo type shit at one point. It's nuts.
It's always like Billy knows Jamie. Yeah, Jamie's really pissed.
Yeah, he's got a gun.
It's kind of like, who are these strange characters we don't really know?
Then someone's like, no, but Jamie's like a really cool, chill guy though. Like I know him, he would never do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Here's my thing though, like when they go into like the noise rock aspect near the end, where it's just like glitching out, and it's like just straight. Like I can't handle that. I skip because
fair. This one grew. It
hurts my 27-year-old ears to hear that shit.
That's fair. Your tinnitus that's fucking been catching up to you for years.
Fucking ringing in my ears. Yeah, no, like I have to skip that one, but like I like the first half of it when they're doing
that's fair.
Rap rock. $100 Million, kind of just a random song, but like
yeah, they have some interesting, you know, samples in there in terms of some of the stuff they choose, but I listened to it maybe twice. I don't really remember much about it.
One of my fave tracks though was the next one.
I didn't really like this one.
Most Wanted Person in the United States.
It just didn't really. It was a little bit. It was just too weird. I don't know.
That one was too weird for you?
That's
one of the more normal songs.
I don't know, just like some of the... It just seems uncomfortable to me. I'm hearing it and I'm just like, this is some liminal shit. I don't even know.
See, I heard it and I heard, okay, this is like Sublime...
Oh, I can see that.
Inspired kind of. It kind of gives you that 90s like alternative rock.
Right. Well, I'll give it another
shot. And just the idea of you turn on the news and it turns out you're the most wanted person and like, you know, just you're on this journey and like... It's just a fun adventure kind of song.
I think that's the one. I haven't heard it, but from what I'm gathering, that could be the one where you can definitely dive into the deeper meaning to that.
Well, there's this lyric where she says, "Anthony Kiedis sucking on my penis."
Yeah. So you dive as far deep into that that you want, but
because she's like talking about like being from LA or whatever. Like, oh, now I'm famous. Now I'm like, you know, I'm on the news and I'm laughing at because everything's so funny and everything. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, I wonder what Anthony Kiedis had to say about that one.
He's not in touch. He wouldn't know.
He's oddly like plugged into things, even though he's like very.
I feel
old.
like Flea is for sure plugged in because he was saying like the Little Yachty album was crazy. I don't know about Anthony Kiedis though. He might be too far gone.
Has he been reached for comment yet on this?
That's a good question.
We should reach out. Should I comment on his latest Instagram photo with?
Yeah, we should do that.
What do you think, sir?
Yeah, the next song, I Got My Tooth Removed, and another kind of fun novelty, just pretty much a ska song of just having a toothache, but also how it's like I kind of miss it and I kind of want it back and all that kind of fun stuff.
It starts off as like making you think it's like a sad song, and then it turns into a like whimsical ska thing about I got my tooth removed and I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
sort of a. That's sort of ironic in like a old school irony kind of way where it's, you know, not worth explaining basically. Yeah. It's just funny because it's funny.
Yeah.
And I like the ska shit. You know, it's been a long time since I heard like a ska used in like a new kind of way to make it as a punchline. It's the most punchline-y kind of
that's why I'm like, okay, the two songs, like fucking Frog on the Floor and I Got My Tooth Removed, the most ska tracks there. I'm just like, it's a good novelty. It's a good to have, you know, shout out people making ska music and stuff, but
did you ever listen to the first 100 Gecs thing?
Not all the way through. There's a few songs that I saved, but I didn't listen to the whole thing.
Because I was kind of figuring like this is like that was their first major thing, and this is like now that they have attention of people, they're gonna fuck around and.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't much ska in the first one, but I could be wrong.
I like their fun, and this last song, Me. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed that.
I like that one too.
It reminded me of like Bo Burnham and like old YouTube YouTube culture, like 2009.
But also it rocks too at the same time.
Yeah. But it's like that one. It's like that genre of music where it's like, oh, we make songs with like using video game sounds or whatever, like, you know, like weird kind of nerdy internet subculture shit. But like, I oddly connected to that song because it's about like living a lie, kind of, and just like, you know, parents, they don't understand me, so I'm just gonna, you know, whatever. Like I get that like rebellious vibe that they're on. So. There was more to this than I thought. Like I thought we were just gonna like clown on this music for a bit, but
I'm glad you actually listened to it and had something to say.
I enjoyed it.
It's not that bad. Some songs are really solid, and I'll be going back to it. Kind of just reminds me of some of the music we would make if we were more talented. You know, just some of the dumbass fucking like, you know.
I know it was sort of bars. A fanny pack. You guys should probably link up.
Yeah, well, we've been trying to do some more hyperpop shit, but it's very difficult to get the vocals right.
It's hard to get your voice that high, you know?
Yeah, or even with Josh's vocoder, just like trying to find the right fucking setting for it is tough.
Yeah, I feel like I've only scratched the surface of the VT4.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much more that I could probably deep dive into if I had the patience for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're never going to compete with these Zoomers coming up with their hyperpop, you know? Like...
and now fucking shout out Solo. Check out Solo on YouTube, I guess. He's making kind of more, not really hyperpoppy, but like that kind of, you know, chipmunky type of vocals.
Nightcore?
Yeah, kind of. So shout out.
That's dope. Yeah, I saw one of his songs at least. All right.
I'll let you start off because you're a bigger Daniel Caesar. I only recently like got into Daniel Caesar, so.
All right, so Daniel Caesar deep dive. We've been wanting to do this for a minute now, and now that there's been released a new album, we can talk about it. So, credit where credit is due. We hate all podcasts, but Joe Budden podcast did put me on to Daniel Caesar way back in the day when they played sleeper hits at the end of the pod.
Right.
They exposed us to Freudian, which was his debut big release album from 2017, which became huge, won several Grammys.
Yep.
And completely rocked my world. It's probably like my favorite R&B, kind of classic R&B record that I've heard.
Because I've only recently in the past few months heard it for the first time, and I'm like, I've been sleeping. Like, it's Freudian's fantastic. I knew the track with Caliuchis and the one with like Sid, I think, but other than that, I didn't really know shit.
One thing that I think is interesting about Daniel Caesar's discography, a bit of a jumping off point here, is that like the theme of unrequited love that runs throughout his whole discography.
You can never quite tell if he's in love with someone or if he's just breaking up with someone, or if, like, you never really know the state of his relationship status.
He thrives in those very complicated relationship dynamics and writing about them. Mm-hmm. And funnily enough, like, most of his music is inspired by one particular real life unrequited situation with a girl named Emily. Which it must be crazy.
Shout out Emily.
It must be crazy
Holy shit.
to be.
He's probably out in Scarborough right now, fucking chilling. So we should get Emily on the podcast.
She's with some other dude, I think, and like, you know, he was in the picture for a brief period, but then it didn't, you know, because it didn't last. Basically, he got his heart broken. But it's just crazy that like so much of it can be inspired by one person, and how weird it must be to be that one person.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you know, I'm glad that you like made a huge career and brought joy to people for that, but it's like you're also using like my life.
But also, I mean, as far as I know, he's not like name dropping her or anything. So it's like,
but she has been mentioned basically on like every album. Like at one point, he does say the name Emily.
Really, I haven't even caught that.
So yeah, like it's kind of like that. It reminded me of that, like the Killers line of like, you know, 17 tracks and I've had it with this game or whatever. Like, the idea of a whole album being about one person, and like, and
the amount of talent it takes for someone to write 3 whole albums almost about one situationship is like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. Like, just as a writer, you know.
Yeah, but it's part of it. It's not. This music isn't like scary stalker music at the same time.
Not at all.
Like,
no. Other than Shot Your Baby on the new one is the only one that's maybe, but that one's more so just a parallel to Kill Bill by SZA. But we'll get into that.
But the underlying other theme that he has in a lot of his work is like philosophy and like psychological insights that are kind of woven into the story, and he gets more like experimental like as his discography goes along. Mm-hmm. But like Freudian is considered his classic because he sticks to his influences really hard, and it's like the sort of gospel harmonies and vocals, the like old school R&B instrumentation.
Yeah, just everything about it. Like the vocals obviously are impeccable, fantastic voice, and just songwriting, song structure. Like you can't say a bad thing about it really.
And it's a pretty devastating album that goes far. Like, certain songs are like, I would almost describe them as like Grey's Anatomy-esque. Like, this song would be at the end of like an episode. Like,
I can see that.
A very dramatic thing that like, and the song brings together like, all the, you know, you're seeing the characters like at the end resolution. But like one time I played it at work, like, the whole album, and it was like people were kind of like
crying and shit.
People were kind of like, okay, Alex might be going through something right now, or like,
of course.
That was a time when I got to like full comfort level of just playing whatever music I wanted and not caring what people thought. But someone maybe thought I was like
going through
declaring my love for them or something like that by listening to it. But
I don't know.
Of course I didn't listen to the whole thing because certain parts are like, it's too sad, it's too.
Or sexual.
Too quiet, to like listen to in public. Like it's a lot of it, it's barefoot music, like as Joe Budden would say. But yeah, on that album, every song is pretty sticky.
Yep.
There's a couple of moments where it's like, yeah, this is like, it was testing my limits of like the cheesiness that I'm allowed to like accept, that I will still think is pretty dope.
Yeah.
To where there's one song called like New Roses on it.
Yeah.
Where like the first half of it is like all a cappella stuff, and I was like starting to think like, oh, is this like a Glee episode, or it's like the movie Pitch Perfect or whatever. But eventually it kind of comes into this really funky jam like halfway through. Uh-huh. So yeah, it part of why like I find it so like foundational is because like I didn't know that I liked stuff that was that straightforward R&B love songs. I didn't really know that I was like before that I felt like it was kind of like a lot of R&B is kind of corny if it's too wrapped up in the relationship aspect.
But there's certain ways that you can manipulate it, or like just whether it be the songwriting or just like, you know, how you hit some of the notes, even just like there's certain little things you can do to make it not fucking cheesy as fuck, you know.
Yeah, and then near the end of the album, you start to get more like experimental and more like him getting into the psychological aspect of it, because it is called Freudian, so it's kind of about you know, family relationships and stuff and the ego.
Yes.
So then he put out Case Study 01. Did you listen to that one too?
I listened to that one a few times as well. Came out in 2019. I was talking to my friend Hayden the other day, and he was like, I mentioned like...
Got it right here, by the way.
Yeah, I was saying like, oh, your new Daniel Caesar album is out, you should listen to it. And he's like, oh, is it better than his last one? Because it was trash. And I'm like... I don't think it's trash because like... It's not, like, that much different than his other work. Like, it's a bit more experimental for sure, but it's, like, not that fucking crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like... Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's trash at all. Like,
no, I love it. I prefer Freudian, but, like, out of all three, I prefer Freudian, but, like... This one's probably the weakest one to me, but, like, it's still great.
If you're just evaluating the album on its own, I get that, yeah, Freudian is his best work, probably, but... Taking individual songs and listening to them here and there, like there's a lot of stuff from Case Study 01 that
Entropy and Cyanide, Love Again.
Love Again with him and Brandy.
Frontal Lobe Music with Pharrell I like as well.
But yeah, he gets into it like more of heady topics on that. Like Entropy starts with like the Robert Oppenheimer quote of like the Bhagavad Gita, like about, you know, the idea of like, you know, the nuclear bomb, like, you know, everything ends, everything must come to an end, and like asking these questions about existentialism and headier topics. So like, I read that it was described almost as alt R&B on some level because of how much he strays from traditional like topics.
It's definitely not as accessible to an extent, but like I still think it's quality.
But there's still like love songs on it, you know. He also gets into like more of his Jamaican roots on parts of the songs as well. The song Cyanide, and also like the Pharrell song. Like he gets into more hip hop and other influences. Yeah. The song Superposition was really crazy. Him and John Mayer.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
That's one where it's like he's just singing about the contradictions of life and like what it means, like very basic things that like. He brings insight on, like, about just being alive and what it's like to go through stuff. I mean, if we're not, like, I'm not saying anything specific, so it's kind of hard to put, like, pin down on, but just, like, accepting what life is. Yeah. Too Deep to Turn Back has some very interesting moments on it. I don't remember
that one as much, but...
The Last Minute, there's all kinds of great, like, Bible references that I picked up on. Are You Okay is probably like a very sad song.
Yeah.
That's one where at the end he name checks Emily,
right,
and is like kind of saying sorry to her, like I'm sorry for like being so toxic, and you know like, but like I hope you're happy. But it's always like I hope you're happy in your own life, but like secretly like I'm kind of wishing that like,
and also feel bad for me a little bit, and also like
but like he deals with like with all that awkwardness in a way where like sometimes his writing perspective is like he's kind of writing it in an ironic way, almost like he's presenting this character.
Yeah.
And it's like these are the messy emotions and like deal with them the way that you want to, but like he's not trying to be like a role model and be like, yo, like this is how to be non-toxic. Is like this is how to be the you know, a perfect
he's just telling
man.
you like it is. He's not trying to like teach you anything. He's just like, this is my life. This is what I've been going through type shit.
Yeah. And then, so basically since that, then he put out the Japanese Denim single. That was really big.
Yeah, love that song.
He was on the Peaches song.
Right, I forgot about
the
Peaches.
Justin Bieber song.
Yeah, that was solid.
And then, yeah, so this final project. So what did you think, first of all, of Never Enough, compared to his other albums as well?
I think, yeah, it's more so more of a classic R&B sounding album to me. Like, it's not as experimental. It's more like a lot more love songs kind of thing, or at least stuff talking about relationships. I think I still prefer Freudian, but just because this one's like pretty long, yeah, it's like an hour long, 16 tracks. But I think I love it. It's hard to like say anything bad about it really, just because like the vocals are so good, the production's so great, like it all works so well together that it's just like, what am I supposed to say? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I find that like the sound was a lot similar. Like there was like those distinctive backing vocals that come with Daniel Caesar, and his roots are still there. But like I feel like on this new record, he wasn't trying as hard like to blow your mind or whatever. Like,
yeah, I think it's just a good collection of songs.
It was coming out more naturalistically, and he didn't try to spin it all into one grand narrative about his whole life.
Yeah,
but he kind of just gave you different moments, like Toronto 2014.
That's one of my favorite songs on here.
I figured because you were early on fan of Mustafa the Poet, so
and they have good chemistry on the track, and I think overall the album, like I think it's a good case of like features being used like really well in terms of like he's pretty much just getting all of like these more up and coming, or some of them like more veterans like Ty Dolla $ign or whatever, like R&B artists on this album, and like it's not too feature heavy. But yeah, Serpent with Feet, who has been on the come up for a little bit. Mustafa, who's on the come up. Omar Apollo, who I've heard a lot of good things about. And then even on the bonus, there's two. Did you listen to the bonus version?
They added a Summer
Walker feature to Always, and added a Rick Ross feature to Valentina, which is super strange.
Well, Valentina is a bit of a like the song kind of stands out from the other ones a little bit because it's more, I don't know, lo-fi, or there's like a.
It's like I don't know, like just a dance kind of groove to it.
Yeah,
like,
an old school dance track kind of.
It's not like typically R&B, but
yeah, this one like. Thematic wise, like it doesn't stick to one story of who Daniel Caesar is really, and that's why I think like it might not be received as well as the others because it doesn't like hold your hand through a whole story. But I think
he doesn't need to though at this
point.
But
there are themes.
Because if he just made another album just like Freudian, then like it would have been okay. Well then whatever. Like we already got this, right? Like
and like you can only bare your soul so many times without but
without fucking dying inside a little bit.
Speaking of Freudian, I thought the song Always was the one that would fit in most with that.
Yes,
the Freudian
and that
fan
one's
base.
also one of the highlights for sure. It's so great.
That's like
everything about it.
One of the like, it's like a love song that's very sad because it's almost about like wanting things to always be the same, but they're not gonna be all the same. Always be the same,
and it's almost like a breakup song of like I'll always have you. I'm not just a phase. Like I'm always gonna be around, even if there's another guy. You know what I'm saying? Like
which is like. On the one hand, romantic, and you would like to be in that, but there's also kind of
painful as fuck.
You're still hung up on the same chick from that you used to walk down Bloor Street with
2014.
Man,
come on,
you're famous, but then that's also the thing is like he's also talking about trying to get into new relationships and like go like a lot of it is like the first couple of tracks have sort of a. South American vibe to it, like he's on vacation, like and kind of capturing these little snapshots of like desires that he has for like people that he runs into and stuff. So the album starts off. I thought it started off like a little bit sleepy. It didn't quite get my attention that much until.
It might not be like the opening track that you'd pick for it, but like it's a nice song still. Like
it eases you into it.
Grace. Yeah, it's very I like it.
Let Me Go and Do You Like Me were the two of the singles.
Yeah, I still like those a whole lot.
Let Me Go is another like kind of doomed relationship. I like his bar about like my dreams exhaust me. Like he's going through a lot. There's a lot to process for sure. 100%. Do You Like Me is almost like an old school, like more of an upbeat song. Yeah,
with the guitars.
About maybe potentially meeting somebody new and getting over this.
Yeah, exactly. Not as much of a fucking.
Hi, this is Alex from the Rapcast. Have you ever hurt your throat while podcasting? Try Coors Banquet.
Also, fuck or no sponsors. Fuck them. We don't need them.
Yeah.
But also give us money.
Fuck you, baby.
But also,
And also try out the new Dyson Airblade.
Oh, come on. We're supposed to reveal that to the end of the episode and we bring it out.
Shave your balls with Dollar Shave Club.
Oh, God. It's so personal. I'm like, shave my balls. Fuck you. You know I had to shave my balls. Why are you telling me I have to? Yeah. It's very intrusive.
I know. It's like, shut up, Mom.
Mom's telling you to shave your balls?
I know how to run my own life, okay? You don't even know me!
Cool, I like a lot as well.
I would say that's the emotional low of the album, almost.
Yeah.
My favorite stretch of the album, really, is, like, tracks 8 to, like, 13 or so. Like, really to the end, but, like...
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I don't like some of these as much. Buyer's Remorse is probably my least favorite just because I'm like, you don't need the auto-tune, Daniel. Like, your voice is already perfect. Like, it just sounds a little off to me. Like, it's a nice song. Like, it's a good parts to it, but it's just, like, not my favorite. Disillusioned I liked. I don't really remember much about
Disillusioned is kind of a, like, spacey vibe. That's where he starts to get into more of the psychological concepts, talking about morality or mortality and
growing old and shit,
but also kind of like this relationship and like, wouldn't it be fun to grow old and become reclusive people together and like make fun of people we see when we walk down the street. Which, sidebar, I went to go see the Super Mario movie.
Oh no.
And in the lineup there was this crazy character, like in the lineup to get popcorn, there was this guy. He must have been like some kind of Russian gangster or something, because he was wearing he had a gold watch, a gold like cross necklace thing. He was
tracksuit?
No, he was wearing like khakis and like a neon green like button-up shirt.
Okay.
He had like the worst hair, like fake hair plugs you've ever seen. And like one of those thin like things, and he was like like giving the people at the Landmark Cinema like such a hard time about something, and like he was like, I cannot understand what you're saying, like, and I was trying to order my food. I completely fucked up my order because I was so distracted by like trying to get every single
Now
detail.
Did this guy go to see the Mario movie by himself, or did he have kids?
He was there by himself. I think he was like, he came in like with a half-eaten bottle of popcorn and was like mad about something, and like,
so was he going to see the Mario movie or not even?
I assume that he was a guy from the John Wick movie that jumped off the screen and just became but
or
I don't
Fever
know.
Dream from Beau Was Afraid, but
Hamilton, man.
Yeah, interesting.
Anyway,
how's the movie? I heard it was kind of,
I liked it.
Okay.
Jack Black is funny.
Yeah.
As
I don't think I'll ever see it at this point. I don't really care enough.
But here, like, okay, my favorite track off of it was Shot My Baby.
Shot My Baby's great.
Jumping into more of an alternative rock vibe. It's
Instrumental
also
caught me off guard for sure.
He's writing from the perspective of like, you know, someone who just like almost like a wish fulfillment thing of like, oh, I caught you cheating and now I'm going to kill you and the other person, and like
very much like Kill Bill, like SZA, like I was saying earlier, just like from a male's perspective almost. Like like, it just wanted to kill my ex and then the other bitch too, like.
Yeah, but there's this like, and this is also the song Vincent Van Gogh, where there's kind of a clever detachment from like who I'm actually singing the song about.
Yeah.
Where this is more sort of social commentary about like making fun of like male desires or whatnot.
I can see that.
Because the song Vince Van Gogh to me is very much like he's writing about the narcissistic delusions of artists who think that like well, everything I say is gold, and eventually everyone's gonna love me. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not gonna be like Vincent Van Gogh. I'm gonna get my flowers right now. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh, afterwards we're gonna say like.
Also, the song's called Vince Van Gogh. I don't know if I've ever referred to him. I heard anyone refer to him as Vince. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of the joke. It's like a modern day Vince Van Gogh would be like
Vince Vaughn. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Vince Staples.
But that song did a very funny and clever thing, which I don't think like is done very much. And it also had this whole shrooms trip aspect to it, where he's like, "Yo, the psilocybin."
Yeah.
Pain is Inevitable. Another good track from that sequence.
Homosexual is interesting, just because it's all about like, my girl left me. She's seeing a girl now, and that's fine. That's cool. Someone to share your bed with, but you fucking like it nasty though, you bitch, you dirty bitch. You fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was he wrote about a very interesting just something I hadn't heard in a R&B song before, really.
You left me for a bitch.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ty Dolla $ign comes on and fucking kills it, of course, but.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, would there be a commentary on that track, or would it what are the opinions on that? Yeah. But like, that's one of the most like the best like straight up R&B songs on it. Traditional, but like still about like an interesting topic for sure. Yeah, I mean, Pain is Inevitable, Misery is a Choice. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a good insight there.
For sure. And
that song has a whole trippy outro thing where he's talking about like, man, I miss being a kid, being innocent. Like, what happened? What did they do to me? Which is pretty relatable kind of thing to go for.
We're in our mid-20s, everyone. That was also painfully clear.
Superpowers. He gets on his Uncle Ben shit.
Yep.
And Unstoppable was another good outro.
Yeah, good outro just to be like, fuck all that negativity and misery shit though. Like, I'm unstoppable, we're unstoppable, like, we can get through this. Like, kind of ends it on a positive note.
Yeah. But you also wonder if there's some ironic...
Yeah, if it's genuine or not.
Distancing from what he's saying. Like, it's more like, oh, I'm gonna just put this fake confidence on, like, just to... Yeah. But it's also kind of about, like, a relationship, like, we've been through shit, and now, like, we're set and we're good. So it's kind of like it's a maturity track for sure. Yeah.
Which you kind of needed to have at some point.
But yeah, overall, like, I understand why, like, this album is rated lower.
Is it? I don't know anything about the online perception of this album.
Basically, like, Freudian's a 9, Case Study is like a 7, and this is like a 6. Like, compared to, like, that's what the reviews go. Like, it's going down. But in my opinion, he's already proved himself, and now he's doing what he wants and coming into his own as an artist.
Yeah, I'd say it's better than Case Study, but I'm so new to... I've only probably listened to each of them like 3 or 4 times, so I'm still very new into this, so maybe that would change throughout the year. We'll see how it ends up in my end of the year list. But
honestly, the sounds coming out of this one were... very new, but also I recognized where it was coming from as a Daniel Caesar stan, and he's Canadian, homegrown hero.
Scarborough boy.
We got to support our own.
Yep.
I read that he was from Oshawa, actually.
He might have been from Oshawa. He talked recently about some... I think he said he was born in Oshawa, and then they moved out to Scarborough or something like that, or vice versa.
Nice.
I don't know.
And like, he's dealing with his fame in a good way. Like, he seems mentally...
Yeah.
Like, he's able to make fun of himself and still be himself.
Yeah. And it was good to just hear something from him, because that... Yeah, Case Study was like, 2018, 19, something like that, so it's good to just, get a refresher.
Yeah, and a lot of this album was from COVID, like...
Yeah.
He was
That's why it kind of makes a little more sense why it's like, okay, these are just some of the best songs that I've made, necessarily. It's not trying to tell a whole story, or there's not like necessarily an arc to it. It's just some good fucking R&B,
Yeah.
That's why I fuck with it, but...
He killed that shit.
Yeah.
IMO.
It's like top 3 of the year for me, but I haven't listened to that much, so...
Alright,
what are you gonna do?
We're an hour and a half in. Our big topics are covered.
All right, everyone chill, relax, wind down as we review more music. It's been a while. We're going to keep going here with some singles, some other albums that we don't have as much to say about.
Josh is yawning.
That's all day, every day.
It's only 9:15, though.
Yeah, we're living good. Do we bang out one of these other albums real quick?
Let me give some quick things on Larry June and Alchemist.
Okay, because I've been listening to this quite a bit.
It's a very solid project, although it just doesn't.
There's not a lot of variety.
Really speak to me that much. I would say like Alchemist has a very 70s smooth vibe that he puts into the music that almost makes it too sleepy at certain points where
especially pairing up with a rapper like Boldy James or Larry June is like almost double that, in terms of just a delivery. But
like Boldy James is a rapper who he gives a great feature on the track Art Talk.
That one to me is probably my least favorite just because I'm not really a big Boldy guy, and like both of them back to back is like, oh man, it's just monotone verses after verses. But
yeah,
like because I compare them a lot, like because I enjoy this album, a fair bit. But I haven't really gotten into Boldy James, despite seeing him live and seeing him rap his ass off over no backing vocals. Okay, he's a fucking really good rapper.
Yeah,
but I don't know why I gravitate more towards this one. I guess because this one's just like easy listening, like summery type of vibes of just like, yeah, man, just fucking chill beat shit almost like.
Yeah, and I actually like the simplicity of his themes, like of just like invest in yourself and just try and get out of it and get out of the drug game and like, but lyrically, like he does paint you a lot of pictures of like different locations, going to Mexico, talking to the plug.
Yeah. He's a very competent rapper, and I love a lot of the features on here as well. Action Bronson, Big Sean, Ty Dolla $ign, Joey Badass, and Currency at the end.
89 Earthquake is one of my faves.
Yeah.
It's got all the Alchemist things you'd want. Solid Plan with Action Bronson. He gives a very Sopranos-y verse.
With that one hard.
Let's talk about Palisades, okay? Right. Big Sean is the Gwyneth Paltrow of rap.
Okay, and this is coming fresh off the Take last episode of you constantly being like, Big Sean ain't even all that type shit. And cause I guess we talked about this song a little bit last time, but
I was just kind of mildly annoyed by his verse because he's just like, I be on them supplements. I got fish oils. I got fucking magnesium. And
we don't want it to be a happy man, Alex? After all he's been through?
I don't want people to sell me fucking snake oil.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I also think that people sharing their personal, I put this moisturizer on my thing and I got it in Peru and it makes me feel really, like, it just don't mean shit to me.
Yeah,
like, I don't care about your fucking makeup, I don't care about your skincare routine.
Yeah.
You're not going to, like, it's not a compelling thing to rap about to me. Just to be like, I grew out my hair and now, like, I'm feeling a lot better. Like, I don't know. What is he talking about?
To me, the first bit of his verse, I was like, oh no, he's just kind of like slow Big Sean rapping like he does sometimes. But then as soon as he had the bars, like, something, the Life's an Orchestra, I'm conducting it, and has a little conducting tap thing. And then he switches flow and gets a lot quicker with it. I'm like, okay, this is fucking hard. Like, I like his second half a lot better than how he started at the very least.
Yeah.
But I fuck with the song overall.
No, I get, like, his flow wasn't terrible. I'm just tired of this, like... I just think that it's getting into this goop territory where it's all about, like... My whole new album is going to be about selling you a bunch of different, like... home remedies to, like...
Interesting, yeah.
And it's just kind of substanceless at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure his next whole album isn't all going to be like that, but for a verse, I can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bad song. I like the song, Summer Rain is super smooth. Summery track.
60 Days, we talked about.
Yeah, that was one of the singles.
Probably my fave track off of it. But yeah, like...
I like Orange Village, Ocean Sounds... What Happened to the World with Wiz Khalifa was pretty good too.
But at some point, it kind of fell into the background. Like it's very backgroundy.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's kind of fallen to some of these other albums that we've talked about this year, like Caliuchis and Black, in terms of like just not really attention grabbing, But this one, at least, like it seems to be like that's not the focus of it. Like it seems to just be like a laid back fucking background music album. So all right, I'm cool with it. Like overall, I'd say it's like a 7 out of 10 in terms of its shit, but it's just like not too crazy, but it's not like bad either at the same time.
Yeah. In that middle ground, basically. The song Left No Evidence, I enjoyed as well. That's the one with the haunted sounding piano beat, and sort of this dangerous vibe to it, which I like.
Yeah, and Baragon Lightning with Joey Badass and Currency is dope as well. It's one of my favorites.
There were good features. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, something about these rappers, about these monotone rappers, is just, sometimes they get me, sometimes they don't. I don't know what it is.
Here's a funny thing: is that after, like, the way that I put new music on my 2023 playlist is just I put it on when you update the doc.
Right.
So I had the 100 Gecs album, and then the Joey Badass song "Fallen" right after that.
Yeah.
So it was always just like a very strange transition when I just had the music playing. Because it would go from that Me 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 song to just like...
very chill.
Very laid back.
We can talk about that right quick because it's a good transition there. Game professional podcaster, Alex, right here.
Best in the game.
But yeah, I think he's trying to go in a different direction with his next project. So he's doing more of an R&B shit, but also he has like a verse in there as well when he's rapping solidly. And, it's not a bad singing voice by any means. Solid tune.
It's like a spa track.
Yeah.
Very sultry and
shout out Joey Badass.
I enjoyed it.
Still doing it. What the fuck is going on up there?
They are doing fucking Cirque du Soleil up there. All right, let's get some hatred off. Drake, Search and Rescue. What was the point of that?
Okay, so this was funny because this was coming out right at the same time that the AI Drake and Weeknd song was popping off and got like millions of views, which also kind of fucking sucked. Like, I didn't fucking get it.
I haven't heard this. I refuse to listen to AI music.
Yeah, I know. He had a bar where it was like, "Oh, Metro produces, so you know it's fucking fire," and I'm like, Drake would never say that. As corny as Drake is, like, whoever's writing this shit doesn't fucking know what they're doing. But, like, it was funny to me just like, oh, this AI Drake song came out with the Weeknd, and also Drake released a 5-minute track where might as well just be AI. It's the same fucking thing over and over again. It's the most monotonous fucking thing you've ever heard. I get that it's a little bit catchy, but, like, it can't save it. I don't fuck with it.
They were playing it on the radio at my old work.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's so funny to me that, like, this, like, a song that sounds like this would never get played on, like, a party music station unless it wasn't Drake, because it's like one of the saddest, like, most nothing tracks like I've heard in a long time. He's like,
I don't know if it's sad, it's just like him just wanting to find a woman, I guess, but I mean,
I don't know, it's just kind of pathetic writing from him, like, in my opinion. And it's also like he uses like a sample of Kim Kardashian talking, and then he's like, I don't know how to confess my love for you. It's like, so this whole song is like just meant for Kim Kardashian's ears. Like, why are you still
bringing that whole
thing
Drake,
back? Like,
Kim Kardashian love triangle, but
I didn't understand the point of that.
Yeah, I didn't really grab that because I've only listened to it like once or twice, and then all the other times I've heard it were on the radio, and I'm just like, oh fuck, just trying to avoid it at all costs, honestly. But yeah. But yeah, we're from Toronto out here, guys, but we're not Drake supporters, so that's why you should listen to us. We'll see.
Let's talk about a track that I did like, though.
Okay.
Forever by Amine.
Forever.
Kaytranada. So
yeah, Kaytranada and Amine. New album coming out, I think, next week or the week after that, sometime this month. It's going to be very summery, bouncy, dancey album. I'm looking forward to it. Song is great. I like Pharrell's contribution to the chorus. It's simple, but it's effective. Yeah, and
it's about time for Amine to jump back into the rap scene, and
with a guy in terms of it's an album that's all produced by Kaytranada, who's like a kind of a dance kind of party almost kind of producer. So it's interesting to see Amine trying to maybe get the next leg up in his career here.
Also, he doesn't really collab with a lot of people. So.
Yeah, it's true. His last album, Limbo, had a bunch of collabs, but like it's not the norm.
Yeah.
Like, for Amine, so.
Yeah, I think the game is kind of the game kind of needs somebody like Amine, like more kind of poppy rap that's still got the lyrical content, but it's fun and you can dance. You can dance to it.
And it's funny just comparing this to. Because IDK also had a Kaytranada album that came out last year. I don't know if it was an album, it was like 6 or 7 songs. And just like, you wouldn't expect IDK to do well over like, the dancey kind of party beats, and he didn't really do that. There was a few songs I'm like, all right, it's okay, but it's not that great. Yeah. But like, I mean, as soon as the Amine shit got dropped, I was like, okay, this makes a whole lot more fucking sense. I mean, it's way more charismatic and way more interesting.
Yeah.
IDK.
Yeah, I mean, I think the people want to just party a little bit during this time of year, and not all music needs to be so heavy. And
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Yeah, new Conway. We'll talk about it when the album comes out.
New Lil Yachty song, Strike Holster. I didn't like it at first because it was just kind of like a Poland type song, like kind of more of a trap thing. He's done it before, but the more I've listened to it, the more I've fucked with it. It's catchy. It's cool.
I saw a video of him rapping on some like Detroit type beats, and people are like, "Oh, he's back to rapping now." Like,
yeah.
And some
there's a whole thing, people being like, because he came out and he was saying it because when he released his album Let's Start Here, he was like, fuck all my other music I made beforehand, and everyone thought that's like, oh, that means you're not gonna rap again. He's like, no, I'm still gonna rap. It's just like, fuck all the rap music that I made back then. Even though this, to me, Holster Strike doesn't sound too much different than some of the shit he was releasing last year, but I still think it's solid. And there was fucking, speaking of Yachty, on this one like Twitch streamer who's like the biggest Twitch streamer of all time. I don't even know his name.
Kai?
Yeah, some shit like that. And
I see him on Academics page.
He had Lil Yachty on. Lil Yachty was playing like a country. We keep talking about how Yachty's like super versatile, and fucking he's doing like a country trap song.
Country Thomas?
Yeah, Country Thomas is back, and it's fire. I heard it. I'm like, this is fucking great. I hope he releases this
from
shit.
The classic Young Thug song. What was that song
On
called? Me. 22 Hoes on Me.
That's an all-time. That's an all-time song for me. Yeah. I don't fucking give a shit.
Country Thomas, Spirit of Thomas. Yeah. Way better than that. Was way better than when MGK did a British accent on his Doja freestyle with Cordae.
Everyone was asking for it, so here it is. We got it, everyone. Cordae and MGK finally link up. It's been a
like
long
they're
time
doing
coming.
shit just to make us mad.
I know. I saw that and I was like, I gotta tweet this right away.
Okay. Like, he hops on the track. How can I be Homo sapien? I'm a fucking alien.
Yeah. You lost me. Right away. I'm like, okay, fuck you. Because they do the Central C song.
And then he's like...
Doja.
I'm a dragon like the Targaryens.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking technician. I'm a Larian. My friend's a skater. He does varials. I don't know. It was too... It was like a soft release of him, like,
getting back into
rapping.
And I don't know why you would choose Cordae out of all people, but I mean, I don't know.
Cordae comes after and spits an even cringier. I mean, it wasn't. It was worse because it was more boring than MGK.
Yeah, that's true. At least MGK had more notable bad bars.
Yeah,
Cordae was just any rap bar that you've heard before, just saying it.
What was his?
He's continuing on his downward fucking nosedive.
Yeah. What was his intro thing of like, how can I be
How can I be misogynistic? I love all my bitches. It gives you like a kind of a stink eye to the camera. And
we're sitting there going, oh my god, is this?
Do you get it?
Is this guy disrespecting women on a track?
Not on our watch.
Oh my!
To the Rapcast cave. Yeah. I mean, it seems to be like, it's called like the Cypher or whatever, so it seems like he's going to have a bunch of people just in his buddy's backyard doing rap verses in anticipation. So we could try to, this is an opportunity for us to guess what other corny rappers he can get on this shit.
Black Bear?
Yeah, I could see Ian Dior as well.
Oh, that would be a good one.
People that are like also kind of in that lane, but Cordae, like, you wouldn't really expect a Cordae and MGK collab to like ever happen. So it could be somewhere like, I'd try to have one outlandish guess each.
Yeah, it's just basically the Rapcast 2022 bottom artists of
Most disappointing. Shit.
They're basically all just getting together. They saw our episode and they're like, let's team up.
Exactly.
To make these white boys mad.
I know.
But speaking of rappers who should have been gone years ago but are still around, but we're actually kind of happy they're still around. Vic Mensa put out a track with Chance the Rapper and G-Eazy.
Okay, what was so funny about this...
2017 is back!
What was funny about this is that he was like, he posted on his socials, like, Vic Mensa was like, new song Swoosh, out this Friday with Chance the Rapper and blank, teasing like a surprise feature. And everyone on the subreddit was like, it's Kanye, it's fucking this, it's fucking that, it's Lil Durk, it's this.
All way wrong.
And I was like, because I saw, like, there was a picture of Vic Mensa and G-Eazy like hanging out, and I posted, I'm just like, it's gonna be fucking G-Eazy, isn't it? And it fucking was G-Eazy. And it's, you know...
Wow. Vindicated in the comments once again.
I'm always correct.
But let's just be honest, though. Like, I enjoyed the track, and
It's not a bad song. It's a little bit stale in terms of, like, it's just like a trap kind of, like, party hype kind of song. But it's not bad.
They're having fun on it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
And it's a decent Chance verse.
It's the first time I've heard Chance say the word bitch, like, and it sounded like a little bit of a stank on. Like, he's...
You like his inflection? He had a
like, because he's normally so soft on every track.
He's on The Voice now. But
yeah, like, go for it, Chance. Like, we
want
to hear your toxic masculine
He might be
bars.
getting into a toxic era, because there was recently the video of him fucking slapping some other girls. He was getting twerked on in Jamaica or something like that, and he was slapping a girl's ass or whatever.
Yeah.
And then his wife was like sending subliminal shots on Instagram or some shit. So now it's
Chance problematic era.
I'm for it. This is the next step.
This is the next step.
I'm for it. But he's still gonna be wearing the fucking stupid ass 3 hat.
Sidebar, like, it's interesting how, like, just the concept of, like, these rappers that we were into, like, 5 years ago that are still around, but, like, they're not really as relevant.
No.
But, like, we might as well still talk about them because it's not bad. Like, we have...
And I'm looking forward to the Vic Mensa album that's coming out hopefully this year, because the Strawberry Louis Vuitton song with Thundercat was great. I love that one too.
And we all kind of low-key miss the days of, like...
When Chance was popping like that.
Even when G-Eazy was popping like that.
It's nostalgic. Like, it's a little bit nostalgic. Just like... I'm a bit of a G-Eazy
We're getting old.
We're
getting old.
Yeah.
G-Eazy comes on, the big special secret guest, G-Eazy, and all. He's just basically like, oh, it's young Gerald.
Yeah.
I got the Camaro.
Super monotone. Super just
he
basic.
does the dinero line.
I know, that's what I'm fucking saying. Yeah. Enough with the dinero shit.
Let's get Robert De Niro on the phone right now.
We got clout now. We can go. Joe Jazz knows the Queen, obviously. Knows the King. The coronation coming up. And then that'll get us so many connections, guys.
Yep.
Let's do some more hating. Post Malone, Chemical. New song,
Hated
new video. I kind of like it a little bit. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a sucker for it.
I just find that, like,
it's fucking it's like super just cutesy H&M type music, but like sometimes it gets me.
I heard it one time.
Yeah.
As a pop song, it's okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's
like,
not inoffensive.
I don't hear it as a like.
It's not a rap song. It's not.
Yeah, judging it by a
Post
rap
Malone
song.
is not a rap song.
Judging it by a rap song, it's trash. But judging it by a pop song, alright.
I kind of fuck with it.
I'm just so tired of
a little bit embarrassed by it.
These like alt rocky.
It is a bit.
It's just kind of nothing. Like,
yeah, it is just cookie cutter type shit. Like,
what does he say? He's you're like the chemicals. Like, I'm addicted to the chemicals, the oxytocin. Like, the music video was
maybe not as bad as the one from Insane from last year of him just literally one shot of him in front of the pool dancing. But like his dance moves are
I'm just
different, man.
I'm just sick of him and his smoking his cigarette and his Bud Light and
he's gotta play
I'm so tortured.
He's gotta play into this weird twisted sex appeal that he has for damaged woman that's been going on for the past while. And all his tattoos, he's got to keep doing it.
He's literally prancing around like Freddie Mercury in the video.
In his all denim fit.
I don't know, man. He's trying to prove something. He sold his soul to the devil.
Well, he did, because this song came out on like a 9-track thing of like the Diamond Collection, and it was all his 8 songs that went Diamond, which was like no one's ever done that in the hip hop sphere. It was like 8 songs going to or some shit like that.
Oh, so there was just a promotional thing to like
maybe he knew he was going to go Diamond, so he's like, I'm going to put this song out and then put it on the collection or whatever. Try to boost its streams or something. I don't know. Who knows?
He's out there winning, and we're out here hating, and that's the way that things is gonna be.
Wrapping up.
I'm not getting any tattoos on my face. Okay, I'm not doing it ever.
If we get signed somewhere as a podcast, we could pull some strings, get it done.
Face tattoos for people who are not in violent gangs is going to be a trend from this past decade that will be made fun of for the next generations. Maybe. I hope. Because even, like, I don't see people getting face tattoos anymore.
We still haven't seen the rapper... Well, I've never seen anyone physically getting a face tattoo, but, like, I've never seen a rapper that's, like, you know, seen those guys, or there was a guy in Bo Was Afraid as more of a recent reference of the fucking guy that's all tatted and shit. We haven't seen a rapper that's fucking all head to toe tatted, so I'm waiting for that. And then that's the peak. Then it goes down from there.
I feel like there's a vetting system for most people like that,
maybe.
where they, you know... But yeah, Ari Aster, though, my man.
Let's not even get into it. Let's continue. Let's trudge along here. A new Dominic...
Another hour long of this podcast. We're breaking down every minute of Bo Was Afraid.
Fucking Dominic Fike came back with a song called "Dancing in the Courthouse." It's super. I like it. It's super fun, super cute. But
is there a
catchy.
reason why he's going to the courthouse?
I think it's just looking on the positive side of things. Maybe I didn't really dive too deep into it. It's just a fun track. But I'm looking forward to his next shit. Do you listen to the Doja Cat remix of "Kill Bill" by SZA? By any chance?
I heard it once.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer the original,
yeah,
but I think it's just an anticipation of Doja doing more of a storytelling rap album coming up. So.
I mean, they did Kiss Me More together, so you might as well.
Well, apparently Doja had a verse on the song Shirt off that album that couldn't get in time or whatever. So it's strange that she got a remix of Kill Bill and not Shirt, especially because SZA was like, I don't like that you guys are all into Kill Bill. Like, there's so much better shit on the album. Like, she's not really about that song.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because that song kind of blew up in the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's just like a TikTok song, I guess. But I guess she was like, fuck it, I'll just put the Doja Cat verse on it and just ride it. And just, you know, at this point, she's just making money moves. And, you know, you go, girl, as we often say on this podcast.
Yeah. We are big supporters of
yes,
female, whatever, you know? Whatever it is that they do, those girls.
That could not be more forced.
Yeah, holy shit. New Sabbath song with No ID. That's a mixtape coming out pretty soon. Excited about that. Song is cool. It's not as good as some of his more, more introspective shit, but it's cool. He's a capable rapper, obviously. Thundercat Tame Impala track. This one kind of caught us off guard, but I really like it a lot.
Yeah, it was sick.
Because it's you know, Thundercat has a very specific, you know, like, musical style that, like, once you hear it, like, oh, it's Thundercat. But, like, with the Tame Impala feature, like, having, like, the more expressive drums and just, like, the kind of more bright instrumental kind of just, like, makes it stand out in a way that I like.
They mix the worlds really well.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not really a Tame Impala expert, but, like, he's had such a impact on a lot of music that I already know.
Yeah.
Whether it's Travis Scott or
Lil Yachty,
whatever, what have you. They mix the worlds well. Thundercat's writing, you know, he's kind of, like, making fun of the whole, like, I'm in LA, I have a therapist, like, everything is so complicated, like... But he's getting at something that's kind of truthful about, like... I don't know. I can't really explain exactly what it is, but he laughs it off at the end and says, you know...
I'm in LA, sweetie. You should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I like it. Cool. I'll be blasting it during the summer. Rico Nasty song. Turn It Up. Just a kind of a classic, what you'd expect Rico Nasty track. Yeah. Banger. Banger alert, everyone.
She's killing shit.
Yeah. Go Rico Nasty.
The one video where she's, like, in, like, a house or whatever.
Yeah, she's like the maid. Yeah, she's a maid, but she also captured the fucking family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. Mm-hmm. And, yeah.
And she had the Beat My Face, or I guess Beat the Case remix, which is kind of, you know, that was an old song, but she had the new track, Beat My Face. That also was about that kind of shit. A few things I would like to say. Okay, alright. We're never going to stop talking about Logic. Every single episode.
Oh my god.
New Logic, here we go.
I didn't
Logic
listen.
EP. It's with C. Castro, who was all over his last album. Don't even bother. The song Game 6 is decent. But then again,
I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah. He again,
3 hours later.
It's 3 songs. He still throws in a shitty fucking indie pop rock song in there.
Nice.
So there's no fucking point. And the other song, Vroom Vroom, is just kind of tasteless and not very good. And I did listen to the DJ Drama album.
I kind of enjoyed that, honestly. I listened to it as
I
well.
didn't like it just because, like, it's just so 2009 sounding, you know, the production and the features were all just, like, so dated. Like, I liked the Tyler one, I liked the Lil Wayne one with Roddy Ricch was good. I liked the Nipsey Hussle one. The one with Offset was good. But that Offset song, like, it has, like, Offset featuring, like, fucking, like, I don't know who it is.
And Moneybagg Yo.
Moneybagg Yo, but he's not on the song. Like, I don't hear him on this song. I could be tripping, but I've listened to it a handful of times, and I can't fucking differentiate the voices. Or maybe he's just fucking not actually on there. I don't know.
There was a Jack Harlow song on the new DJ Drama.
I don't even remember that one, because I deleted it off my phone almost immediately.
I've never understood the appeal of Fabulous.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's like a
that?
mixtape guy.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, he was just like, oh yeah, his mixtapes are...
I don't know. That was before my time, I guess. Yeah. There's a song with Boozy Badass.
Yeah.
Which I actually kind of like...
Know. He's the fucking homophobe, right? That guy? He's the one that's really out
there.
He
just says ridiculous shit all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't expecting to hear his music, but I was like, this is kind of funny. I get it.
Yeah, not really much to write home about on that one, but shout out to DJ Drama, obviously. And there was a Swizz Beatz EP that came out. That's Volume 2 of the Hip Hop 50, which is like the 50th year celebration of hip hop, which was I think last year, maybe 2 years ago at this point even. And the first one was...
No, it was 1973, wasn't it? That hip hop was first invented?
I don't know. They said it was last year. I don't fucking know.
It's 2023, so that would make it 50 years, right?
Well, I think the first one came out like last year or 2 years ago. So like it's not this year. It's either the last or more. I don't know. Anyway, that was by DJ Premier, and that had some really solid songs with Run the Jewels, with Lil Wayne, with Nas and shit.
That was good.
And this is the new version all with Swizz Beatz at the helm. And I don't like Swizz Beatz as much as DJ Premier, but it had a few good songs on it. I don't think it's as solid, but yeah, the song Runaway with Nas is good. This shit right here with Lil Wayne is great. There's a song Kalas with, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, with Jay Electronica at the end, which is super solid. And the one with Jadakiss and Benny the Butcher's decent as well, but again, not too much to say about it. It's solid, not as good as the first one. I'm just not as big of a fan of his sound as DJ Premier. Like his DJ Premier is more.
He's not my favorite producer, but you gotta admit, Uproar.
Yeah, he can hype up.
What the fuck though?
He can hype up the crowds for sure with his catalog.
1, 4, 3, 2, 1 blow.
And I think, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, that wraps Rapcast episode 51. Do we do a freestyle over Central C Doja, or do we do a Post Malone Dance-Off?
Yeah, let's do the Post Malone Dance-Off.
All right, so do we have to move the camera? I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. Move the chair around.
Thanks for listening on Spotify. You now watch us dance.
Yeah, this is only for the visual learners out there.
But I'm such a good dancer that you're gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, I can hear that shit.
Josh, you need to narrate what's going on for the viewers at home.
No.
Just say I'm killing it.
Okay.
I'll be killing shit for you.
Right,
Are you gonna play the chemical?
Put on the
song?
chemical song.
Okay. I know I'm not as skinny as the new Post Malone, but I'm trying.
We're just as cute though.
I'm trying.
Right, where is it? I have it saved. I'm pretty sure on my phone or something.
I don't want to ever be called cute like Post Malone. Like
you're Post Malone cute.
It's like
that's
an insult.
Yeah.
Being called cute as a man is insulting because I'm not cute.
I'll take what I can get at this point.
All right, Alex starts it off. All right, yeah, that's the cute dancing. Yeah, there it is. All right,
backing it up a little bit.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, feel it. Oh, hold on, stay there.
I gotta smoke a little cigarette as well. Yeah.
Rapcast 51.
Woo! Pay us, bitch. Alright, your turn. Dance for me. Nice.
Let's do the robot. Classic. I'm gonna slip on this fucking money.
I could be out somewhere right now.
Alright, that's all I hit her.
Thanks for watching.
Honestly misunderstood, often accepted by few, usually labeled as two. They paid the same, but harder for the artist to choose. The easel isn't equal, making only